every coach has got their own style, and I unfortunately I've had to do this a few times, and what I've learned is to not read into any changes or any style differences between one coach and the next, because it's two human beings and they all communicate differently and do different things. So I think the biggest thing for these early in the week is that we all kind of get on, Coach Tabor's thought process, mindset, so we can all kind of move as one and have great unity in that regard.
With that said, I know you might be a tad biased here, but why was Tabor a smart choice to kind of lead the group moving forward?
Well, I've said publicly for a really, really long time, special teams coaches are uniquely qualified to be head coaches. And I think given the state of the NFL and how important offense is, I think you naturally see all teams kind of lean towards offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators, but because that offense and defense is so important, you want to get those brains into an organization. However, special teams coaches are uniquely suited to be head coaches because all special teams coaches do is resource management. Who's on the roster, who's up, who's down, communicate with the entire team. Our team meetings and our special teams meetings have basically the same people in it, which is unique. And so I think a guy is highly, highly capable of going from a special teams situation to a head coach, as well as you just have a natural understanding that offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and special teams coordinators can all have different roles on the sidelines.
Has Greg Olson offered you a position on the staff?
Yeah, I'm the pitching coach, and I am the first base coach of the 11U Revs baseball team. So that's the only position I've been offered.
What do you think if he's really interested in after the job?
I think you're going to have to take that up with Greg. I think he can speak for himself on that.
I feel like you've been around. You've seen in the past teams that have a coaching change midseason often are at their most dangerous that next game out. Why do you think that is?
That's a great question. I don't necessarily know.
Look last year. You guys turned around.
Yeah, I don't know. I think certainly there's always, you hate to say it, but I think there's always a natural sense of urgency when there's a coaching change because things have gotten so bad when the head coaches let go. And so there's always going to be a natural sense of urgency, whether that creates winning on the field. I know that's happened a lot. I also know sometimes it hasn't happened. So I think a lot has to do with the guys in the room, any potential changes that are made. Certainly last year, what Coach Wilkes did was fantastic. We played really well. It was a very organized and unified group, and the results showed on the field. I've been a part of it before, and it didn't go that way. So I think it's unique to each team and each group of guys and each interim head coach. And certainly I'm very excited for Coach Tabor to be leading the charge. I hate the circumstances under which it happened, but I'm excited to see what he does. And he's been the same guy through, 24 hours of us doing this, and that's certainly encouraging because I think a team will naturally take on the temperament of its head coach.
You sort of alluded to it, but to have been through it a bunch of times, especially last year, does that at least help the it's such a horrible phrase, I apologize.
No, I understand.
Help the transition, knowing that this has been done before, we got through it, we know how to get through this.
I think the encouraging thing is, especially coming out of last year, is you understand that switching coaches doesn't mean you just have to ride out the string, that you can play really good football, that you can win games, that you can have a lot of fun, and you can be really successful. So certainly there have been teams, just with recent memory, that have done that really well. I think back to the Vegas Raiders with Rich Versace, who was also special teams coach, kind of took on his personality, and they played really well and made a playoff run. I think there's other examples, and I can't come off the top of my head, where it's not gone that way. So there's nothing guaranteed. But I think what we learned last year was there's certainly hope, and certainly makes for these last 6 games to be an opportunity for a lot of individual and team success.
Appreciate it.